Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Mr. Adeayo. So in today's video, I'm going to put you guys through the process of how you can predict first 10-minute straight draw prediction betting strategy. Yesterday, and also the last video I made yesterday, I showed you guys these particular games and some other tickets that I tried a double chance strategies with, and fortunately I discovered how to predict straight draw full time using that particular strategy. And now in today's video, I've made a video on this particular strategy of first 10 minutes straight draw. But in today's video, I'm going to show you guys steps by steps of how you can do this effectively. First, I would like to make a reference to some games, and also first we need to make reference before moving on to the step by steps, guys, on how you can predict first 10 minutes straight draw. This particular strategy is only deals with 10 minutes of the game, just 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, you are going to get the outcome of your games, just 10 minutes of the game. Now, let us move on to my bet platform. Sorry, live games checking platform. Now let's go. So now we are currently on flash score, and I'm going to check on previous games, probably weekends games that they've played, and I'm going to pick one game as an example and also reference of the outcome of first 10 minute straight draw. Now let's check this particular games under Serie A. Okay, if you check this game very well, if you check this game, they score the first goal of the match at 8 minutes, exactly 8 minutes. If you predict these particular games as first 10 minutes straight draw, your game has lost within that just a period of minutes. Your game has lost. Now these are the steps of predicting first 10 minutes straight draw. Now the first thing you need to look into is the odd provided by the bookmakers. At least the team that you'll be predicting your first 10 minutes straight draw with must have probably almost equal favorable odds. Like for example, if you check the stats very well, you can see that it is kind of very difficult to predict who to win and who to lose the game, because the odds are very close to each other. You can see that the odd for home team is around 2 odd, and the odd for the away team too is around 2 odd. Now if you want to predict your first 10 minutes straight draw, the first thing you need to look into is that the odd for the home team and the away team must be around 2 odd. Both teams must have 2 odd allocated to them by the bookmakers, because if you are going for teams that the bookmakers allocated maybe 1.28 odd for one particular team and the other one maybe 6 odd, eventually even the first 3 minutes of the game can end up in over 0.5 goals and your game will be lost. Now the first thing you need to always look at is the odd allocated by the bookmakers. Now the next thing to do is to go to their head to head. So I'm going to apply this and also to check other games that actually ended up accurately with these particular steps. Now after checking the odd, you need to get to their head to head, whereby you are going to be able to access their last 5 previous games with other teams and with each other. Now the last 5 games the home team had with other teams, we have 1 2 3 4 5. Now out of these 5, we are going to check at least 80% of their last 5 games must have ended up in first half 10 minutes straight draw. At least the first 10 minutes in the match must have ended up in straight draw, at least 80% of it. Now if you don't get 80% of outcome as straight draw, make sure you avoid the games. So we are going to check for the home team, away team, and the games they've played together. Let's check the first match here. So the first match, as you can see, the first goal occurred in 30 minutes. Okay, checking the second match, the match they played with AC Milan, the first goal of the match ended up occurred in 44 minutes. Now let us check the third game with Leeds. The first goal of the match occurred in 17 minutes. Now the fourth game they played with Sassuolo. Okay, the first goal of the match occurred in 79 minutes. Now let us check the fifth game, the match they had with Bologna, and the first goal of the match occurred in 27 minutes. Now, for the home team in their last 5 games, we can see that they have 100% of the outcome that of the games that ended up in first 10 minutes of the games as straight draw. Now, let us check for the away team. At least for the away team too must have 80%, that is 4/5. It means having played straight draw first 10 minutes in 4 games out of their last 5 previous meetings with other teams. So we have for Genoa, like the first game, we have to check the last 5 games. So in this particular match, the first goal occurred in just 30 minutes of the match. Now let us check the next game. So the match they played with Juve ended up in 0-0. Let's check the third game with Monza. So this with Monza, the first goal occurred in 8 minutes. Now this is an error. So we are the only thing that we must make sure is that the rest of the games ended up in first 10 minutes straight draw. So this one is not part. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the game they had with Inter Milan, the first goal occurred in 30 minutes. Let's check the last one. Okay, the last one, the first goal occurred in 36 minutes. Now, if you check in the last 5 games of the away team, you can see that it was only in this particular match they had with Monza that the game occurred in first 10 minutes anybody win, the first 10 minutes. So at least we are able to get that 4 of their last 5 previous meetings ended up in first 10 minutes straight draw. That is 80% of it. So we are able to pass that level. Now the next and the last stage that you need to look into is the stage of their last previous meeting with each other, and this is their head-to-head matches, like the games they've played with each other. Now you have to check the last 5 games. Don't forget I told you guys that at least 80% of their last previous games with other teams and each other must have ended up in straight draw first 10 minutes. Now we are going to look into that right now. Please make sure that you are not skipping any part of this video, because by missing any particular hints in this video you can make mistakes on how to use this particular strategy. Now let's go. So we are going to look into just last 5 games, now. So the first one here ended up in 1-0, 1-0, 3-3, 2-2, and 0-0. Don't forget, out of these 5 games, 4 of it must have ended up in straight draw first 10 minutes. Now let's look at it. So in this particular match, the game ended up in 1-0, and the first goal occurred in 44 minutes. Okay, fine. The next game I'm seeing here, the first goal occurred in 5 minutes. You see that this has already caught it first. Okay, now let's hope for the rest. Now in this particular game that ended up in 3-3, the first goal occurred in 8 minutes. So unfortunately, this game is not really qualified to be predicted as first 10 minutes of the game straight draw. Now let us check the rest. So we have 2-2 here, and the first goal occurred in 17 minutes. And in the last game, they played 0-0. So unfortunately, out of the last 5 games that you guys are seeing here, 2 of it ended up in the first 10 minutes anybody win. And don't forget, I told you guys that at least 80% of the outcome must have ended up in the first 10 minutes straight draw. Now let us look for other games that actually meet the analysis and the process. Now for easy steps and easy prediction for this particular first 10-minute straight draw, I would like to recommend some leagues for you guys so that it will be very easy for you guys to select the games that meet the analysis. So one of the leagues that I would like to recommend for you guys is the Egypt League, the Egypt Premier League rather. Now, under this league, I'm going to pick a particular game here as an example, and we are going to check their stats throughout. And the other leagues that you guys can go for is the Morocco League and the Algeria League. So these three leagues are very easy to make use of this particular strategy on. Now, let us check one of these games and let's use this particular strategy on it, and let's see how it goes. Now, don't forget, the first thing that I always tell you guys to check is the odd allocated by the bookmakers. Okay, at least in these particular games we can see that both teams are having two odd, at least two odd, and maybe 2.9 or 2.7 or 2.5 odd. Don't go for any team that the bookmakers are allocating maybe 1.80, 1.90, 1.70 odd for. Don't apply your analysis on it. Anything happens, even though using this particular strategy anything can happen, because in betting we cannot always 100% predict anything that will come out. Now let us check something now. Let's check their head to head. So whereby we'll be checking their last 5 games for the home team, last 5 games for the away team, and the last 5 games they've had together. Now the first thing, let's just check for the home team. In this particular match, the match ended up in 3-2, and the first goal occurred in just 30 minutes. Okay, let's check the next game. This particular game ended up in 1-2, and the first goal occurred in 45 plus 2 minutes. So in the third match, the match ended up in 0-0. So automatically first 10 minutes draw. We know that. So the fourth game here, the match ended up in 1-1, and the first goal occurred in 58 minutes. So let us check the fifth game. So the fifth game ended up in 2-2, and the first goal occurred in just 41 minutes. So Egypt League happens to be one of the easiest leagues to predict your first 10-minute straight draw. Now let us move on for the away team, and let's check the last 5 games and what they've had in the first 10 minutes of it. So this match ended up in 1-1, and the first goal occurred in 49 minutes. Okay, so let's check the next game. Ended up in 2-0. The first own goal occurred in 39 minutes. This one is 1-0. Okay, the first goal occurred in 70 minutes. So we have 2-2 here. Okay, the first goal occurred in 12 minutes. And we have 1-0 here. The first goal occurred in 49 minutes. Now, for both home and away team, checking their last 5 games, they had 100% straight draw of 10 minutes. Straight 10 minutes straight draw. Now let us check in the last 5 games they've had with each other, and let's see what we can have there. So in this particular game that ended up in 1-1, we can see that the first goal occurred in 54 minutes. Okay, and the next game here, we can see that the game ended up in 0-0, and that is automatic straight draw first 10 minutes. And checking the third game that ended up in 2-0, we can see that the first goal occurred in 62 minutes. Okay, let's check the fourth game here. The fourth game, the game ended up in 1-2, and the first goal occurred in 59 minutes. So in the fifth game, the match ended up in 1-0, and let's check. So the first goal in this particular game ended up in occurred in 44 minutes. Now checking the last 5 games of the home team and checking the last 5 games of the away team, we can see that they had 100% first 10-minute straight draw. And also checking on their last previous meeting with each other in the last 5 games, we can also see that the game ended up in their last 5 games ended up in 100% 10-minute straight draw. Now let us see the current outcome of the game that they eventually played, and let's see what they had. So in the match, the game ended up in 1-2. Now let's check the period of their score, their goal scored. Now the first goal was scored at 20 minutes, and that is a lucky win, or let me say a win. A win is a win. So make sure that your analysis meets what like what you're going to predict. At least in the last 5 games of the home team, away team, and the game they've played with each other, please make sure that at least they had 80% of the games ended up in first 10 minutes straight draw. And don't forget to always look at the odd, because if you predict your first 10 minutes straight draw on games that one of the teams was allocated maybe 1.11 or 1.28 odd, forget it. Sometimes in those kind of games, within just 5 minutes, a particular team may be winning with 2-0 down. So make sure that you follow the steps very well, um, and you bet responsibly, please. No strategy is always 100%, but please, with the available one that seems to be accurate, please let's make use of it wisely and bet responsibly. Please don't forget the leagues that I recommend for you guys: the Morocco League, the Egyptian League, and the Algeria League. So these 3 leagues are easy leagues to quickly find your games using these particular strategies. Now, if you want to go for other leagues, if you go to League One, actually games that you analyzed to be to not to maybe ended up in maybe first 10 minutes over 0.5, the game can ended up in full time under 0.5. So these 3 leagues, if you know that you don't want to go for other leagues, or you don't want to explore other leagues, you can stay on these 3 leagues. So thanks for watching, guys. See you guys in the next video. Bye.